feel like a lot that happens in adulthood is you forgot what it was like to be a kid.
Were you allowed to do that as a kid?
I've actually recently found this photo of me like at one of our tables with my watercolors, but I looked very focused and I recently came across that photo.
Wow.
And I've been like, it's like I have it around. I've just kind of been like trying to keep that little girl in mind. I was going through a difficult time and one night picked up the brush, felt like a life or death situation. And even then I still wasn't saying I was an artist. To be an artist almost is like you have to have a regular job and then you do your art stuff. I think a big value I hold on art is that it is healing. I've seen it heal, you know. I'm pretty sure it's healed me.
Hi, welcome to the Creative Artist Podcast. My name is Sheran, and this space is about talking about the creative journey and why people create and why everyone should actually create. Today we are here at Future Ink Graphics here in Cleveland, Ohio, and we are highlighting some creatives who are connected with FIG to show why they create and this community they have here at FIG. So without further ado, Alexis, hi.
Hi, Yushan. Nice to meet you.
You too. Got your name right. Okay, tell me about who you are and why you're here.
So my name's Alexis, and I am an artist in the Cleveland area, also teaching artist. I kind of use those terms, both of those terms. Gosh, my journey as to why I'm like here and sitting in this chair is pretty long and has taken many different like roads and ways to get there. But yeah, I'm here now doing some work with FIG, but also doing a lot of other creative projects. And I came to know FIG. Stephanie and I have actually known each other. She's the founder of Future Ink Graphics. We came to know each other during a project I was on called Literary Lots, 10 some years ago. And I kind of had just left my teaching career at that time. And we met on that project because she was at Art House at the time, and I was trying to get into more of the arts organizations. So that's kind of how I came to be here.
Cool.
The short version, there's a lot of things in there.
So you're an artist, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And is that what you teach as well?
Yes. I teach art to kids.
Wow.
I really love.
Okay, let's start there. Why?
Yeah, sure. I actually ended up getting a degree in education.
Okay.
And after going through schooling, that went pretty quick. I was disenchanted with the traditional school setting. So I took some time off. And then I went to art school at Cleveland State for a little bit. And really, I think at that time, tried to find what my artistic voice was during that time. I had never really thought of myself as an artist. And I actually haven't really thought of my artist until very recently, which is weird to think about. But it took me a while to actually say, yes, I'm an artist. But anyway, I'm getting off track. So once I took some time off of getting my degree, I went and taught. I decided, let me just give the teaching thing a go. I found a school I liked. I went to Laurel School. It's here in Cleveland on the east side. Okay. It's private, all-girls school. And I got into their early childhood program because that's my specialty is the little ones. Yeah. And I spent 5 years there. And in that time, I kind of took over the art in the preschool classroom. It resonated with me. I felt I was good at it. And I didn't want it to be an artsy, craftsy type of experience for the kids because I feel like they're very capable and they're very much in a play and explorative time in their life. And so I really wanted to bring like actual meaningful art experiences.
What does that look
to that
like?
Room. Oh gosh, kind of thinking back on what we did. It was a lot of open-endedness, right? We would put paper out and a variety of different brushes and a few colors that I did kind of know would mix well. So we didn't end up with mud, but that would have been fine too. And just kind of let them explore, right? I would find materials like in old teacher bins and, maybe like some colorful blocks, and we'd put some glue and some cardboard pieces down and would create structures. And from there, we would also talk about the color and, the way you glued it didn't really stay. The block falling off, right? So how do you want to fix that? So there's a lot of problem solving in that too for them.
What is the expectation of having like children that age play around with art, kind of like that free? What's the idea? What's the goal?
I feel that like giving them that opportunity to explore the material without a teacher directed outcome really lets them tap into how does the paint feel? You know, like how does
The tactileness of it.
yeah, the tactile, like they're obviously feeling something, you know, like all of a sudden a kid will start painting their hand. And so many adults are like, oh no, that's not how we use a brush. That's not how we do that. But clearly they can't articulate it. They're having a tactile experience with it. It could be calming. I mean, have you ever taken a paintbrush and run it over your palm?
Yeah.
Like it's a nice feeling. So my goal in that is to just let them experience the material for experiential sake. That I'm making up words, but I do that.
Yeah.
So that's my goal. And also if I set the stage for them and let them have that experience, it does allow me to have conversations with them. Like, oh, I see you're using the blue paint. You know, and then they're like, oh yeah, I'm using blue. Or, oh, I saw you mixed some of the white with the blue. What did that do? And they're like, it changed the color. And they're just like so excited about that. So like letting them have the experience, not you mix blue with white and then you get this color, you know.
It's almost like you're like helping them connect the dots of their thoughts, emotions to actions. Like it might be so simple as like why to do it, but
sure,
you know, like I realize when you ask a question from somebody, it allows them to think about, you know, sometimes they might not have even thought about it.
Right.
Okay.
And I think art is a great way to get conversations starting with kids and be able to connect with them, right? Because that's how you form those meaningful relationships with kids is by finding my hands are doing weird things.
Stop
like how
it's a podcast. Let it go.
Okay. Like how you want to connect with your students. You want to connect with them in a way that makes it more meaningful, and you want them to come back and you want them to feel safe and you want them to open up, you know.
Have you ever thought about the correlation between like doing that and how it applies to adulthood as an adult?
Yes. So great question. Because I have this like burning idea in my brain that I still haven't really like taken off the ground. But I feel like a lot that happens in adulthood is you forgot what it was like to be a kid or a child. And that could be through whatever experience. I might get choked up. And so I've always had this idea of like finding ways for adults to tap into their creativity, because I think a lot are too afraid and they just won't do it. But it can be as simple as just like, I mean, kind of your Play-Doh story like resonated with me. Like, it's not that hard. Like, you just kind of have to be given the space to, and I mean, there is something within your own psyche that you're going to have to tell yourself, like, this is okay to do.
Yeah.
You know,
you have to give yourself permission.
Yes, you are going to have to fight through some of your own demons.
Right. And that's why we ask you to do it.
Right, together. So, you know, I've wanted to do some adult art classes where they just play with materials that maybe they saw when they were a child in grade school or wherever, you know, and just be like, let me just draw with the oil pastel and wash some water. Like very, I guess you could say, elementary projects. Yeah. Like even I sometimes have to tap back into that, and I'll like go find, you know, maybe an art experience I did with kids and do it myself. Just to like stay young.
Yeah. So you mentioned, you just said you're getting choked up. Can I ask you why?
I don't know. It resonates somewhere deep inside me, I guess. I don't know. I really have a strong, I don't quite know what it is, but there's something with me and kids. Maybe it's something from my own childhood. But
okay, let me ask you that then.
Yeah.
Were you allowed to do that as a kid?
You know what? I was.
Okay.
I really was. I grew up in there was a lot of art around me growing up. There was music. There was a lot of classical music because my dad. There was a lot of PBS. yeah, like a lot of public television. There was a lot of going to the museum. There was a lot of, my mom cooking and baking, and my dad played the piano, but by ear. And, my brother was very artistic. And I've actually recently found this photo of me like at one of our tables with my watercolors and like a little cup of tea, or maybe it was my paint water. I don't know. But I looked very focused, and I recently came across that photo.
Wow.
And I've been like, it's like I have it around.
That's brilliant.
And I've just kind of been like trying to keep that little girl in mind.
Yes.
Yeah. But then my dad's going to hate this. But as I got older and would paint and start doing things, he kind of started coming around my shoulder and being like, no, it's this. No, it's. And I remember some very frustrating times. Like, he and I are good. He's so proud of like where I am now. And yeah, I don't know how he'll feel about hearing this, but there was this time where he just kind of started getting in there, and I saw myself pulling away from it. So it wasn't until then. And then in like high school art class, again, teachers were coming over my shoulder, and I was like, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Like, I felt like me finding my voice in it was kind of getting squashed. I don't think consciously. I think it was all unconscious.
Yeah.
But it happened, and I'm a very sensitive, emotional being.
Yeah.
So,
Come to think of it, I think I stopped drawing or painting in third grade after going to an art class.
mm-hmm.
I didn't realize.
Something
I
happens.
just made the connection. I think I stopped because that person was telling me, don't. I'm
Right.
like, but I just.
Yes, and so, yes.
I recently picked up a drawing on my wife's iPad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's been so nice.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about actually getting some paint and like tactile doing stuff.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. I know I should. I completely 100% agree. I just do too much.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think with all that, and then coming back and hearing how other adults talk to kids while they're creating and stuff, there's a part of me that cringes a lot. And I'm like, okay, there's a better way to do this. And, I also have a vision of like having my own like preschool, like art preschool someday.
Wow.
I have a lot of ideas.
That's brilliant. I'm talking to a creative. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that, first of all.
Hi, I hate to interrupt, and I hope you're enjoying this conversation, but we had something really exciting to share with you. We have recently started a new company called Odyssey House Media.
It's essentially a production company to help people tell their stories in a way that actually highlights their story so that people can actually believe in what they're doing.
So after traveling around Sri Lanka and coming back to the States, we noticed that there's a lot of incredible people doing some really great, meaningful work, but they don't quite always know how to tell their story or have the confidence in doing so. So after working with some other organizations and partnering with them to share their stories, we realized we need to help people share their stories.
The Odyssey House Media has been the one that's been sponsoring this podcast, Us Blood, Sweat and Tears.
So if you've ever wondered, you have a story and you're not sure how to share it, we'd love to talk to you, have a conversation. You can check out more about us and our work that we've done in the past in the link below. All right, let's get back to that conversation.
Yeah. All right. So you got back into teaching. And because you got into art, then you went to college, you got into art, then you went back to teaching, and you're now combining art and teaching together, right?
Yes.
It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you got to do that.
Thanks, yeah.
Not a lot of people can use that degrees.
Right.
But then it seems like you were also kind of doing your own art at that point.
I was, yeah. So when I was at Cleveland State in the art program, I really got into printmaking. So I made a series of work. Like I said, during that time, I think I found a voice for that time.
Yeah.
It's definitely evolved from there. And I was really into printmaking. And then all this other time went by. I was still like making stuff at home, but I wasn't putting it out there. I think my dad did like a show at a local restaurant or something. They were having like a art night or something. And he went up there because he does watercolor paintings. And he went up there with his stuff and he took a couple of my prints from college and actually sold two. And I was like, oh, okay. That kind of sparked a little like, oh, okay. Somebody does like my art, I guess. And then, I don't know, a lot of stuff happened in between that again. And then in 2017, I was going through a difficult time. And I just one night picked up the brush and I was like, well, you're either, this felt like a life or death situation. Like you either need to paint your way out of this or I don't know what's going to happen. And that kind of spurred my first like art collection that I put out there called Lifescapes. And they were just these dot paintings, but they were a lot of dots and they were a lot of paintings. And so I was definitely like working through something at that time. And then Zygote Press was Land Studio was looking for art. Stephanie, she encouraged me to bring the work down. They were looking for art for a new, I think it was Metro Hospital location in University Heights.
Was this last year?
Oh no, this was like,
okay.
This was some years ago,
Nice.
Near like 2017.
Got it.
And she encouraged me to bring some pieces down, and I brought a couple down and they bought them. So that's what really spurred me, like, okay, I'm going to start doing more with this. So I like talked to a couple stores in the neighborhood and I started showing my work. I feel like that's when I finally came like out.
When you did that first time of like showing a work of art, a body
the
of
art show I did,
going
yes.
through this crazy experience you went through.
Yeah.
Like that didn't tell you that you were an artist?
No.
That was the
I
point
still
of-
was like, okay. Like,
somebody bought it.
yeah.
I only I laugh because I just think that all creatives go through this. Like
Yes,
imposter syndrome is just so obvious, right?
Yeah, and even then I still wasn't saying I was an artist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because to be an artist almost is like you have to have a regular job and then you do your art stuff in the off time, and that's how you're an artist, right? I still hadn't quite fully taken on the role that like, no, I'm an artist. I'm an artist. That's what I do, and I teach art. I think when I did the residency at William Rainey Harper, the mural project, I think that's when I really was like, okay, yes, I am an artist.
And that was a 3-year residency. Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, 3-year residency. Yeah.
Yeah. That would have definitely made it. You're going to work to do painting.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
cool.
It was an amazing experience. Very challenging because, like I said, I had never done a mural of that scale before, so I learned a lot.
Yeah, murals are not easy work.
Oh my God, no. My body was so wrecked.
I heard you mention that it was there was an opportunity that came up and you had done murals before and you said just why not, and then you did it.
Yep.
Walk me through that, and why are you still doing murals? I don't understand how much work. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, it almost became a little addictive once you got on that wall. You're like, oh wow, a canvas. Like I could do.
It's a canvas.
You have to edit that out.
No, it's cool.
Okay.
We'll leave everything.
Part of the process.
Yeah, it's a canvas.
It's a canvas. Yes, the wall is my canvas. Yeah, I suppose like in that moment I could have been like, no, that's not what I do.
Yeah.
See if you can find someone else. But I don't know, there was something inside of me that was like, just say yes to this and you're going to figure it out.
Was there any point you're like, why did I say yes?
Oh my God, like every day. Yes, every day. I was like, I can't do this.
Okay.
But again, that's what also spurs you forward.
Mm.
You're also like, no, I can do this. You have to wrap your head around it. You've got to work through this problem. You've got to figure out how to make that image big enough to project it. I didn't have that skill set. So I had to, and luckily the school was so like, we'll support you in this and they were willing to give me that opportunity, which I am very, very thankful for.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah. So after I came off of that, I was like, yes, I'm an artist. That was like my job.
So now how do you see yourself?
Still in that way. I'm kind of like right now in a period of struggle and finding what's my next gig. So I'm still, right now is a really kind of struggling time because I don't really have anything consistent lined up at the moment.
And that's going to be like ebbs and flows, especially when it comes to art, right? That's normal.
Yes. And what I have learned from this experience is that, okay, if this is the life you want to lead and this is what you want to do, when you get that next project, you have to be a little more mindful of how, just to put it bluntly, how to use those funds at that time to carry you through the times where, you might be at a lull and not know what's next or.
Right.
Just to be a little more financially set for those types. That's something I did learn as well.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I've also learned that like I run a small business too, and whenever the sales periods are lower, or like those are the times, one, you could try to find more clients. Two, there's something that you need to work on in the business that you need to fix things and get ready.
Sure.
Because the moment the next rush comes or whatever, you won't have time to fix any of those things.
Right.
And so the way I look at it now is like whenever there's a down period, I've always found now, whenever there's a down period, that's for me, that's my time to not worry about the money. Yeah. That's my time to focus on like all the creative stuff, all the inner work, all the whatever expressing stuff. Because the moment I get busy, it's gonna catch up.
Yeah.
You know, money will come, and then I won't have any time to create in that moment.
Yeah.
So I realized to like appreciate the lull moments, because I know that this is the time I get to like be creative. Like today, I have no dog, I have a dog business, so like I have no dogs today, so I can be all day long here. But when I'm busy, I cannot do anything else.
Right.
So, anyways, I'm talking about myself.
Oh no, that's fine. That's lovely to hear. Like I always love to hear other artists and their perspectives on things like that, because I am struggling while I'm nodding and I'm like, yes, sure, of course.
It's hard.
I'm having a hard time settling into that low part right now. So there are days where I'm just like, what do I do? And then there are days where we'll do this in your studio. So I've been working on my home studio a lot.
Oh, cool.
Because I have a nice space within that.
Nice.
So I've been trying to use this time
that's
to organize
worthwhile
that.
time.
It is. It really is.
I'm trying to tell you.
It
that's
is.
good
okay,
time.
Thank you. Tell me.
It is not a waste of time. Trust me. I have a wood shop. I have a studio like in my house.
Yeah.
You know, and then like taking the time to organize, taking the time to fix, making it better. Like it is so important.
Yes.
Do not let anybody tell you it's a waste of time.
Yes.
Because when you are busy, you need that space to function so
exactly.
well.
So
we're talking functional, creative stuff right now.
Yes.
Tips and tricks.
Yeah. Just put a little podcast together for that.
Yeah. Why would you encourage people to create from your journey and your opinion?
First thing that comes up is like when you create, when you do, it could be cooking, it could be baking, it could be sketching, it could be playing the piano, it could be anything. It could be gardening. Doing something creative can move you through something. It can heal you, it can inspire you. Even, baking a new cake can inspire you for another one. Like doing it, right?
Yeah.
Can spur you to do it more. And I think a big value I hold on art is that it is healing. It can be healing. I've seen it heal, I'm pretty sure it's healed me.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
It's each new collection that I come up with or direction that my art goes, you get a little more confident, you get a little more secure, you get a little more of your voice,
What do you have to say about, or how have you understood this need? If there was no money attached to it, right? If there was no money attached to it, would you ever show to people what you're creating?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, recently I think it's because I don't know that I'm going to articulate it right, because I think this is kind of a new thing that sharing it is a big, can be like a connective thing. You might find a connection that wasn't there before.
It's the need to connect and it's the need to process.
Yes.
And you express because you want, there's an innate desire maybe like to other people to connect with it the same way you did. And then
I think there's just something that needs to get out of you too.
Yeah.
And I see the value in that.
That's what I'm saying. It's very interesting because expression is getting it out, but in our modern day, I mean, even like back in the day, like Picasso or whatever, like they created something and they put it out. Like they showed it to people, and maybe some people didn't perceive it proper way, and like when they're dead, they perceive it. But it's this idea that I've been thinking about, like, why is this, like, creating is one thing. Sharing it with others is a whole nother thing.
That's you said that in the podcast that I listened to.
Oh, cool.
You had that same.
Did I? Shoot.
Yeah, you did. There's the creating part, and then there's the sharing part.
Yeah.
You could create all you want and just keep it to yourself. The sharing takes courage and bravery to like put it out there and have people have their opinions on it or not have their opinion, whatever. It's a vulnerable thing to put that out there. So is like playing a musical instrument, so it's like, and I envy those that I just see go and do it. Like it doesn't even seem like they're having all the worries and stuff that I'm having over here. It just seems so effortless, but they're probably going through all that.
And actually, I was talking to Santana earlier, and he mentioned like whenever that's the one place where all the negative self-talk they stay behind, because when you go to paint, it's the one place he feels comfortable where he can be himself and no judgment and whatnot. And there is negative self-talk, but
that resonates.
Right? Like over time you create, like you finally get to a point like, oh, I love myself. I love creating. Like I love what comes out of me.
Right.
Like all these expressions, and I don't have to sit here and criticize it.
Right.
So the reason I think that people should create is that people can be free from the negative thing. Because I see adults. There's an image of in my head about adults. It's the adult is the body, but inside there's a little child
100%.
that's controlling the, and like I feel like people don't know that, and then
I agree.
then they're trying to understand the world from this adult body we have, but everybody forgets to connect with the operator who's the kid.
And that's why the world is.
That's my view.
Yeah, I mean.
That's why I go through all this hassle to talk about this. Because again, like we are divided on politics, religion, all of these things. This is the one thing we can actually connect with, regardless of anybody in the world.
We can if they're willing. Not all of them are willing.
True, right?
So,
but if you put your
they all
example,
actually participate in it, whether they know it or not.
Exactly. Like my example is like you talking about that class you wanted to do where you give adults this stuff. You take it to anywhere in the world, any country in the world, you offer that class. You're telling me adults won't like take and start painting? They might be hesitant at first, but then you're like, hey, just try it. And then watch them do it. It's the one thing anybody in the world can do and connect.
It's true. So how are we getting that idea off the ground?
I have started it. I have started a podcast. I talk about it. And also the reason I'm talking to you and highlighting your story, because a lot of people, right, go through trials and tribulations in life, right, but not create. They might go into alcohol. They might go to all these other outlets. Sometimes people don't even do the outlet stuff. They keep it inside. They do the 9-to-5 job, and then they might have a breakdown, or they might die, and they would never know that
they take it out on others,
or that.
Or whatever. Yeah,
that's the worst side, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But my point is, they would never know that this inner child has they're not connected with it. They have no idea that people need to create. Yes. I don't care what you do. If you just go spend some time with yourself and go create.
Yeah, we think it's so simple to do.
It is very hard, because imagine when you haven't connected with your inner child, when you haven't connected with that person, all you know is the negative voices.
Right.
So every time you sit down, all you hear is negative voices, and then you stop. But if you knew that you haven't created a long time, you haven't connected with this child, the negative voices are against you connecting with that inner child, and you knew that as a hindrance, then you would know, oh, this is just normal.
Right.
This is what creating looks like.
Yeah.
I need to get to the point where I don't have to listen to these voices.
Right. And the more you create, the more those, like you said, those negative voices start to get quieter and quieter.
It feels like going to therapy to me. Art therapy. Right?
I've done a little art therapy. Yeah, I've done a little bit of it.
And I think every time I create, whether it's drawing or because whenever I'm like in this state of craziness and I'm like losing it, I'm like, I gotta go right.
Yes.
I have to go right and process these thoughts because I'm losing it.
Yeah. I go through the same thing if I'm like overwhelmed or the schedule I made too busy for myself. I've learned that do it a little more like this. And like some mornings I make time, like I'll get up a little bit earlier so I can just do like a rough painting with my tea. And it really does kind of set a different tone for the day that I didn't take. And it's literally just like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But that took me time to get to that place. You know, I kind of had to go through all the other things to get to that place. And then now through this we're just kind of saying, no, just come on, you could do it. You know?
Right.
But you have to like set the scene for people to want to come and do that. I think that's
because at the end
hard.
of the day, the reason is to find some freedom and some peace. Can't find it anywhere else.
You can't find it doing this.
You have to create and find it.
Yeah.
Or connect with a God. But again,
Sure.
I don't talk about religion just because it seems very divisive now.
Yeah.
So I'm only talking about creativity.
Yeah. No, creativity is universal language for sure.
So we are here at FIG and we are
Yes.
partnering up with FIG. So I would like to talk a little bit of FIG and the community here.
Sure.
You mentioned you connected with Stephanie like much earlier than FIG.
Yes. Mhm.
Now you're connected with FIG. Talk me
Mhm.
why and what the community is and what it means to be here.
Yeah. Well, it's, a new young space, still trying to build or continuing to build a community around art. And I came on doing a few just projects that FIG was doing around town. I did the Rock Hall. My poster's actually right there.
Oh, wow.
For one of their Fam Jam
Nice.
events at the Rock Hall. And we've been also trying to launch some young printers clubs here for young kids. So trying to bring that passion of teaching young kids and bringing the element of screen printing and printmaking and kind of connecting those two. So trying to put some programming together around that and get little 4-year-olds in here screen printing. Yeah, because that is my expertise. I really do. I've said earlier on that age group is age group that I like to work with. So no reason why they can't be screen printing.
Yeah.
So and learning some how printmaking came to there's stamping, there's mono printing, a bunch of different types of printmaking and making it accessible to them.
What got you curious to try screen printing?
When I was at Cleveland State, I really fell in love with printmaking. I did the lithography classes and the intaglio, and I went through all those. There was something about its process that I liked. Mono printing, I like a lot because you can kind of really explore, print it, and kind of move on to the next one.
Right.
You can be a little quicker with it and not so detailed, if that's what you're doing. And then screen printing, I tried at Zygote once a long time ago. I liked the process, and then, now here it is again in FIG. And I actually want to kind of explore it a little more. I have some screens at home that I got recently at a estate sale and some of the masking tape. So I've started to explore that process, but there's a little more digital technical operation going on here. So learning that and just getting more comfortable with screen printing and what you can do with it.
So I understand that finding community, right? Creative community is so important for a creative to thrive. Have you had any bad experiences where you were trying to find community and didn't work, or has it always been good? If so, what are the qualities you're looking for in a creative community?
I don't know that bad experience.
That's great. That's very good.
I grew up at Near West Theater, so I grew up in a very artistic community.
Okay.
And I saw, they're a nonprofit arts organization theater in the Detroit Shoreway. And so I just grew up seeing that around me and the transformative power that it can have. I literally saw theater saving people's lives. If I wasn't here, I would be on the streets, or I would be not here. It was that hardcore. And you just saw how being within an artistic community, because theater's an art form as well. That kind of was my upbringing in high school. That's what I saw. My brother was into it. My mom worked for the organization. My brother's now the technical director there.
Wow.
We very connected to that community. So, the values I saw in that were that, everyone has a space here. It didn't matter your race, your ethnicity, your religion, your
Yeah.
sexual preferences, you know,
Right,
like
right.
you were accepted hands down.
Right.
So I think that's an important quality of.
I still feel I don't belong anywhere, and
Okay.
as a creative, forget
Okay.
about the culture, race, all of that stuff. That's a
Okay.
whole nother story. But as a
Okay.
creative, I still feel like I don't belong because I am not one thing or the other. I'm a multi-creative. So like, I feel like sometimes if I go to one space where they're doing one medium, they won't understand me or whatever. Like there's so
Oh, I
much
see what
more
you're saying.
nuances to
Okay.
being creative. So like there's this question I've been asking for the last since ever I realized I was a creative.
Okay.
What does it take for a creative community to be inclusive in that sense?
To include all types of creatives.
Creatives.
And we need just one big hub where you can come together and do your craft, but then there are spaces to share the craft, maybe?
That's
Maybe
one way of
it's
looking
like a
at it.
space to do that.
Yeah. It almost like the way I envision it is like imagine there was like the creative Olympics, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And around the world,
Uh-huh.
all kinds of creatives come. Now, Olympics, they have to compete. So there are no competition in creativity.
Okay, we won't
right?
compete
So
for
no
gold
compete,
medal.
no
Okay,
competition.
all right.
But they come here because they created something really powerful, whatever
Mhm.
that was. So imagine now all of these people, creatives in that space, what are the things that we would need to for everybody to feel accepted? Because there is no language is a barrier, culture could be a barrier, race could be a barrier, but this is the one thing that connects everybody.
Gosh, that's going to be a hard task. I think it's a great task.
It's a utopian idea, I guess.
I mean, I guess it is in a sense because you are talking, when you kind of break it down like that, there are a lot of barriers between people. And even, I guess, within a creative setting, there could still be those barriers,
Yeah.
right? So you'd have to kind of figure out how, like you said, what I don't know if I know the answer right
yeah,
away.
no, I wasn't. I was just trying to see your point.
I think it's a great conversation to like continue and
Yeah.
to keep asking people and figure out how do we create a creative space, right? A community that still might have some barriers that we have to overcome.
Yeah, because I think that the issue is there's skill involved in creativity.
There's what created?
Skill.
Yes.
So based
So you might not
on,
think you have the skill to even be
so
there.
people like creatives, imposter syndrome is pretty much gauging based on our skill level or our perception of our skill level.
Well, maybe that's why in that space you have a bunch of different mediums.
Yeah.
Right? There's
Right.
painting, there's drawing, there's clay, there's figure drawing, there's abstract. You
Yeah.
have a lot that you can choose from.
Right.
And kind of, oh, I gravitate towards this, or I like writing, so there's a typewriting.
Right.
Typewriters.
Right.
You can go type.
Yeah.
And then maybe there is that
calligraphy,
community space where you do start to share, you know?
Yeah.
And then, right, maybe the painter sees the typewriter and has an idea.
Yeah.
And then some sort of collaboration happens.
Yeah.
Right? That could be a way to bring those down. But, you know, to eliminate that, oh, I don't have the skill. If you put a bunch of skills out there, then you can kind of choose where you want to go.
Right.
And then with being within that space, you might then collaborate and connect with someone whose skill set is something else. And so you kind of, art then kind of opens that door, right, to share the skill set and maybe learn or then feel accepted within a skill set, right?
Right.
Because you might also meet someone that has the skill that you think you have, but you don't know that you have, and can then like foster, maybe become a mentor in some way. And, you know, it just kind of can grow from there.
Because maybe this is, I don't know if it's true or not, but in this situation that we're talking about, the only difference between a new person that goes and creates versus a person who's like been creating for a long time is there's nothing. There's no difference except that they're creating.
Right.
I know there's skill involved. I know the mediums could change. I know expression levels, all of that could change. But at the end of the day, both of those people are going and creating.
Right.
So I think what I'm trying to say is that maybe if we change this idea of like skills and all of these to leave that aside at the end of the day, these are people who are creating, who want to create. Maybe that needs to be the first thing, that needs to be the foundation. Now let's show the skills or whatever mediums that we use to express, because at the end of the day, we are trying to tell a story.
Right. Yes. Because also, like, traditionally, art's always been kind of fueled as for like a certain creative, right? One that has the capabilities, and then you go to art school and you foster those capabilities and blah, 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 right? So you kind of, in that framework, you take it away from a lot of other people.
Yeah.
But there could be a way to bring that back by starting from a very baseline creative way, and then you start to build upon the skills for those that want to. There might be some that just want to stay in that, I just come here on my Saturdays and I just like to hang around. Maybe I'll paint something, but I really like to see what others are doing. Sometimes just exposure,
absolutely,
is enough to like spark something in someone, letting the space be open to whomever, right?
Yeah.
Not even someone that maybe wants to come and create, but it's like, oh, maybe there's a coffee shop within this vicinity of what's happening, and I come and I get coffee, and then you start to notice, oh, there's stuff going on here. People are doing things. Could I try, And so
I like that.
Right? That kind of, that's a way to break down some of the barrier of even being like, oh, I don't have a skill, I can't go.
You're right. It's watching other people create would help for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
This has been a very stimulating conversation.
It has also felt like a conversation. It's
That's
nice.
the point.
Yeah, that's good.
Alexis, thank you so much for being on the pod. I don't know how long it's been, but
good talk.
What I take from talking to you is it's cool how you grew up in the creative world and you had that opportunity, but then you take it further on as you go on, and now you have this mission to help kids, and you have been and inspiring. So that's really exciting, and I really hope our viewers are excited or at least inspired. So I hope you keep dreaming, I hope you keep creating, and I hope you keep going on your own creative odyssey. Until next time, see you later. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Trinity.
You're welcome.
I don't think I've ever had a full-length conversation about like art and stuff and that. Like ever in this setting, so it's good to. Yeah.